Your date of birth holds all the secrets to your soul. You give us your date of birth, we'll tell you the secrets to love, the secrets to lust, and who the best person for you just might be.
I have the answers.
Check out Secrets of Birthdays at secretsofbirthdays.com.
So garden.
Namaste, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your soul biographer, here to take the planets above and put them together into the story of you down here on Earth below. And boy, things have been crazy indeed. Incidentally, if you're trying to jumpstart your heart and have some passion in your life, and I know Scorpios are, and I know Sagittarius are, and I know Cancers are, I know a lot of people are. In 90 minutes, I'm going to give you some tools where you can step back into your heart. This is a day-by-day thing. These are on Saturdays, by the way, and just $33. So it's me working with you on webcam. It's really good. If you want more intense one-on-one work, well then buy a reading right now. If you buy a 1-hour reading with me, you will get a free Secrets of Birthday video emailed to you before the reading. And I have lots of slots open in April, so come on down. I book almost within 24 hours at soulmart.me. Well, we have a lot of changes going on, folks. I mean, it has been a bumpy ride. The universe has introduced a lot of Neptune, self-mercy, compassionate, kind of Christian energy. Very Easter Pisces, right? We have a Pope change. We found the God particle in physics. The universe is not messing around. So this is a time of moving forward. Mercury is finally direct. We're going to wrap up the Sun in Pisces, and then we're going to hop into Aries pretty aggressively because the Sun is going to jump over Uranus. So without further ado, let's take the Ascension elevator and take a bird's eye view of you.
This is your captain speaking. Please be advised that small knives are not allowed on the Ascension elevator, as your intellect is sharp enough. Your ascension today has been powered by the God particle. And some negative news, we lost your luggage.
And here we are up at 33,000 feet where we have a bird's eye view of you, Taurus, Taurus rising, and also if you bought a Lightcast report card, we call you the natural born producers because that's what you do. You manifest. You are the reality builders on Earth. And right now, unfortunately, it's time to dive into interfaith. But I thought interfaith was part of Pisces. It was. It's kind of a double dose, and this is the way it always works for Taurus is, just by the nature of Pisces itself is about connecting to our higher self. And then when the Sun moves into Aries for Tauruses, then you directly connect to your higher self. So we're going to wrap up the Sun in Pisces this week, and then we're going to move into the Sun in Aries. And what does that mean for you? Well, for the bulls, it means it's time to dive into your spiritual connection to higher self. And you're going to make a large leap, a rather strong leap this year. The first part of this is your sixth sense, your spirit, your intuition. This is the area of your consciousness where you store weeds in your soul garden or past life memories known as karma. All right. Then we move into holy faith, subconscious, and having faith in yourself. And then from faith, you pull off your own sort of miracles, the metaphysics of the transit. But the hard part is always the beginning, the red root chakra part of this, the part where you have to clear your fears out of your subconscious, clear your self-sabotaging behavior. Sometimes that means we have to discover our self-sabotaging behavior, but I don't think Tauruses are finding out anything brand new or anything that they don't know about already. I'll tell you why. It has to do with all of the planets going on in this particular sector. Uranus has been here for some time, and this week Uranus moves to step 8. That means that you have already cleared most of the inner karma, but I don't think Tauruses have stood on top of that faith just yet. You've been working on this for about a year and a half, some real hard interfaith lessons since Uranus moved into this area. This week we're going to move into the Sun in Aries around Wednesday, and by the end of the week we'll have our first breakdown, which means a large test of faith, most likely on Sunday. All right, could come a little earlier, but I'll let you know as we go. Now, we're going to go Mercury direct, thank Goddess. Mercury goes direct on Monday. Now, Mercury is still way back in the part of you that is thinking about where you are in society. So you're going to start thinking forward now when it comes to your belonging to the world, your social connections, your friendships. If you've been waiting on certain friendships or things have been on hold, that was because of the Mercury retrograde. And you're going to think all the way through your social belonging and also through your healing with Chiron there at step 10. But at least things and business can move forward. And then finally, it's important to know that Saturn is still retrograde, but now we'll move to step 10. What that means is for Tauruses and Taurus risings, you're going to go backwards a little bit in your human relationships and begin to reconsider once again your own mirage. All right, but it's important for you to hold your own boundaries up when it comes to not slipping into the old relationships or the old way you used to treat yourself. The universe is not going to remind you while Saturn is in retrograde, so you really want to, well, I will remind you instead. All right, so let's fly up into space and get an even bigger view of the U. And of course, as always, we like to orbit out here on the edge of the galaxy, and we begin with Fun Day Sunday. Now, Sunday is sunny and productive for the bulls. The moon is in Gemini, and so emotions are focused on soul capital and manifestation. At the same time, you're probably putting into action on Sunday part of your plan for your relationships to society or your relationship for publicity, or maybe you're trying to connect to a social group. Whatever it is you're manifesting in Pisces with your social connection, you're taking action on Sunday. On Monday, it's sunny and manifesting. Again, the moon is in Gemini, so now you are really feeling it, and your own Earth rules the day. So Earth rules the day, and that means you are really feeling it. It's time to decide what you feel like you belong or where you belong in society, and it's time to commit to that. On Monday, you're going to hold space for that energy, but the universe is also throwing us a ton of planetary shifts. Take a look at some of these yods. For one, we've got this beautiful yod, which is now in week 2, that runs from soul capital for Tauruses over to relationships on the one hand and learning on the other. In fact, the way to look at this is the other way around. Basically, this yod says, Tauruses, just focus on what you know you are worth and stay focused on what you know you are worth. All right? By staying focused on what you know you're worth, you will automatically be forced to defend your boundaries and keep those held up, and you will automatically not slip into the old belief structure. All right, so just hold your beliefs, basically hold your prices, Taurus. Don't negotiate. Now, we also have a second yod this week that overlaps Jupiter and heads up to Saturn. And what this says is, hey, Taurus, when you're starting to flip out this week with inner faith, that's the sun, just do this thing. Don't worry about inner faith. And in those moments, don't even worry about your value. Just worry about holding your boundaries. So basically, to keep it clear, to keep it simple, you want to hold your boundaries and be very clear on your mirage and not slipping back. And you want to not slip back into the old prices or the old worry or the old way of losing money. Okay, so don't slip into those. The last thing I want to show you is the moon arc. The moon is going to move from soul capital into your thoughts and processes, and then into nesting and resting by the end of the week, and it'll be just moving into lifestyle by Sunday. So that is the moon arc, and we'll be talking more about that as we move forward. Okay, whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. I'm flying all over the place here. Sorry about that. Learning my own keyboard. Okay, so we're going to now move to Tuesday. Sunny with a chance of anxiety on Tuesday, Taurus. The reason for the anxiety is because we're being tested on that place in society. So whatever it is you're going for in society, emotionally you might be tested. Now, the moon technically rules the day. It's an emotional day, but it's a Chiron ruled day, which means you really want to just hold integrity as far as your aim and ambition out in the world. At the same time, the sun is starting to pick up on some of that inner faith transit too, so you're picking up on a little bit of that. And the moon is beginning to move into Cancer, which means mind games could be triggered on Tuesday, so be careful about that. Then on Wednesday, it's cloudy and rather pensive. The moon has now shifted completely into Cancer, and so on Wednesday, Tauruses are processing how they feel. This is the first time you've gotten a chance to think about how you feel in a while. Plus, it is a zero rule day. That means Pluto rules the day. Zero means zero. The sun is moving into Aries. It's one of those weird days because you're feeling things shifting anyways. And on top of that, the universe has gifted us with a soul pyramid. We are gifted on this day with a soul pyramid that basically allows you to emotionally grow up because you put 3 areas of your life together. So in this zero means zero, this weird no man's land between Aries and Pisces, when we're feeling kind of out of it, in that moment the universe goes, okay, let's get our emotional shift together. And for you, this is uniting your feeling of being healed in society, like I think I'm finally going to where I believe I belong in society. And at the same time, I think I'm finally not letting people get or take advantage of me. Saturn over there in Scorpio. And then what this allows at the bottom of the soul pyramid is the moon moon, which is the right attitude as a result, allowing your mind to adopt the right attitude because you're starting to feel, hopefully, some success. Now, there's also some fears. These red lines indicate the fears going on. So although the universe is pushing for harmony to happen, at the same time, there is a squaring off, you see, between the moon and Pluto, which means there's a squaring off between your attitude and what you believe. Remember, beliefs we're not quite sure on. We know we're moving forward and it's best practices. But this all squares off to what? The sun, which is inner faith. So basically, you're starting to be introduced to where you have faith. If you have faith in your whole life, you're going to feel great. If you don't feel good, it's because you're having issues of faith between your thoughts and your beliefs, represented by the red lines there. Okay. By looking at my own notes, I don't make mistakes. Then comes Thursday, it's sunny, and now I think chatty. Now the sun goes 1 degree, so although it is now the beginning of a weeds and karma transit, and although weeds and karma are starting to come up, or you're ready to face fears, maybe is how it feels in the best way, you really are feeling back online, and the sun is in Aries, and so we do feel strong. Tauruses, when they are solid with their faith, are rock solid, ram tough when it comes to their inner faith, but they got to go through sometimes what feels like a war inside to work through it, right? I know, because I am a Taurus. However, the moon in Cancer does allow you to go out and communicate things, so I recommend you get out there and you communicate it. Then comes Friday. Now for Friday, you're already ready for the weekend bowl. The moon will be nesting and resting in Leo, pulling emotions to a full 360. So in other words, this is basically the home plate for emotions. So when emotions come into Leo, you go back to your castle, you retreat, you kind of pant, and you realize that was a long 28-day cycle, right? So it's really the end of a 28-day cycle. The moon is ruling the day, so depending on how much you've been honest with yourself about feelings and emotion will determine, you know, how heavy the day feels. But you need to nest and you need to rest on Friday, even though it's a Friday and you're probably feeling pretty groovy about things. Then on Saturn Day, you are sunny and I think grounded, but you really need to put into the home, family, and foundation. Jupiter rules the day, so you're really kind of open to explore boogeymen in your closet, your fears, your self-sabotage behavior. It kind of depends on where you are and how old you are. I've noticed that every year we clear karma. When we're young, it's self-sabotaging behavior. When we're in our middle ages, you know, moving here through the 30s and early 40s, it seems to be that we're polishing, facing karma, facing relationships, ending cycles. So you're really starting to explore on Saturday, you know, what this year's interfaith transit's going to be. And the worst of it will be over on Sunday. Sunday, showers, chance of some extreme anxiety. I'm going to say extreme because I think it's going to be extreme. This because the sun is now conjuncting. It's on top of Uranus, so we've got some major nuclear breakdown, breakthrough energy. This means for Tauruses, a breaking down of your old interfaith and a new interfaith being born. This comes with a decision. You must decide on Sunday. I believe in myself and I have faith because. The because comes to a decision, and the decision comes from hopefully your past and your history, that you've been here before. Now the moon moves from Leo into Virgo during this day, and this shifts emotions for you to your inner child and sets up for a bit of a tug-of-war and a test of last month's issue already. Take a look at this. As the moon moves into Virgo on this day, your inner child is lit up on Sunday, and so vulnerabilities come to the surface. This is part of maybe the breakdown of inner faith. And see, those vulnerabilities directly oppose that part of you that's trying to heal in society. So Sunday might be a day where suddenly it doesn't look good as far as your social plans or how things are moving forward, or you wanted more progress by now, or that sort of thing. And that gets the inner child feeling vulnerable, maybe feeling or fear of rejection. And see, that tug of war is really about just finding balance after your strategy in society. The truth is the universe has set up the bulls for a fall here, and the fall is uncovering where you lack faith in yourself. So keep that in mind on Saturday. Also keep in mind the odds, okay? As everything goes through this week, be very clear. Do not slip into the old boundaries with people, and do not slip into the old boundaries with yourself. And then the Jupiter yod at the same time says, hey, hold and focus on what you know you are worth. So if you hold and focus on what you're worth, and you hold and focus and not go back in the past, this will actually keep the ship solid as you're questioning issues of faith. All right, Bo, let's fly home. Well, that wraps up another week of Soul Horoscopes. One final cute little tip, and that has to do with Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini has moved to Chapter 2, which means there's no more thinking to do. It is time to act on what you've been thinking about literally for 6 almost 7 months. So move and act on those thoughts. And Jupiter means that fortune will indeed come. Now, remember, I'm available on the air, and this week, all week long, I will be there Monday through Friday for guided hangouts at 11 a.m. Mercury is direct, and our staff is retrograde. They are recreating themselves now that Mercury is direct, and we're going to come back to you with a whole new front. We're super excited, but come on down. I've got a lot of cool topics. We're going to talk about the new Pope, the God particle, and I've got some excitement, something to introduce you, Dr. Mom. She's this cool lady that helped me heal as well. So come on down. Pacific time, 11 a.m., Monday through Friday this week, and they're all recorded. And if you're watched over by the Guardian Agency, I will send you emails with the video all week long. And if you'd like to try GA, try it. It's only 1 penny for the first week. All right, my fellow soul gardeners, I love you so much. Until next week, live, love, be.